Dr. Jose P. Rizal was considered one of the most influential thinkers of the Philippine Revolution, and it's not hard to see why. His writings, as well as the organization he founded, were essential to uniting Filipinos into rising up against the Spaniards, even well after his death. His world-famous duology, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, have been passed down for generations for young Filipinos to read and study, and for today, we'll be focusing on the latter of the two, El Filibusterismo. Just a quick background, El Fili was first published in 1891 and centers on the Nolly's protagonist, Crisostomo Ibarra, returning to the Philippines 13 years after his death, a completely changed person. He had abandoned all thought of idealism and peaceful revolution and had become convinced that sabotage and violence were the only ways to get some results. The dark themes and violent plots of Fili are a sudden depart from the romantic and hopeful airs of its predecessor, and because of the book's blatant exposure of the abuses committed by the Spanish government and the church, the books were outright banned in some areas of the country. Talk about touchy. So, our story begins on the steamboat Tabo as it makes its way up the Pasig River from Manila on its way to Laguna de Bay. The boat is split into two decks. The top, that has all the illustrious and rich passengers, and the bottom, where basically everyone else is staying, which, by the way, is an interesting show of symbolism that represented the social hierarchy back then. On the top, we had the rich and known Spanish, then their confidants, and at the bottom are the Indios or the natives and the poorer Chinamen. Among our passengers on this ship are Ibarra, who is now known as Simon, the rich jeweler, Doña Victorina, the ridiculously pro-Spanish Indio woman who is in search of her estranged husband, Paulita Gomez, the pretty and rich orphan niece of the Doña, Ben Zaib, a prolific Spanish journalist, Padres Sibilia, Camora, Salvi, Irene, and Florentino, Don Custodio, a high-up and well-respected pro-Spanish Filipino, Isagani, Padre Florentino's nephew, as well as the lover of Paulita, and Basilio, if you can recall from the last book, the son of Sisa, who is now about to graduate medical school, thanks to his patron, Capitan Tiago. Simon, as mentioned before, is now bitter and cynical and only believes that violence and sabotage is the only way to overthrow the Spanish government, and he plants himself as an agitator and saboteur, violently siding with the Spaniards and encouraging abuse against the masses, which would stir up a revolution, basically making himself the bad guy, which I find very admirable. He lost everything and returns willing to lose everything a second time so the revolution may push through, albeit